Welcome back to the show, and today we're diving into the biggest Pokemon rumor of the week, the alleged leak of the Pokedex of the Pokemon generation number 10. I actually feel like a loser for how excited I am for this, but I guess this is what happens when your mom leaves you alone in a hot car with a Game Boy Advance back in the early 2000s. This is how you end up, okay? You just end up being super excited about these things, okay? So, the speculation is everywhere. Let's talk about the details and what it could mean for the franchise looking forward. The conversation in the community started with a new leak that surfaced online, specifically on 4chan. I can't believe people are still there. Maybe I should try seeing what's up in there, okay? While 4chan's track record is mixed, with both fake and legitimate leaks popping up over the past few years, this one has enough traction to get fans talking, even though there's healthy skepticism about its authentic, but what do you get the point? The leak claims that Gaia is the code name for Generation 10, possibly set in a brand new region inspired by Greece and its famous archipelago and the Syads or Clyads, whatever. A Greek-based region would bring a blend of ancient mythology, islands, and water-based environments, something fans, including the host, have long hoped in the Pokemon game. So I have a strong feeling that there might be like some secret temples and underground tombs or something. I feel like things are about to get mystical. Maybe there's new god Pokemons, right? There's going to be like a new legendary mythical Pokemon. Maybe it's like a humanoid Pokemon, right? Because all the gods in Greek mythology are human based, right? Like Zeus and blah blah blah, Athena, okay, women, they're all people. So this might actually give us the first humanoid legendary. Let's see. Now, about the Pokédex itself, the leak reportedly lists about 71, I heard that it was 74, but 71 new Pokemon native to the region. Starters include grass type, ferret-like, a water type, apparently it's going to be an octopus line, and the fire type is going to be like a goat. Designed for both surprise and fit the Greek theme. So I guess ferrets, octopus, and goats were popular back in those days. This is going to be very interesting. I'm actually super excited. Other highlights are normal / flying duck, likely the regional bird. I think the regional bird for Kanto is like what, Pidgeotto or something. So I think, you know, like there's obviously those Pokemon that you meet right after you leave your hometown. Those are like the essential Pokemon to the game. So it's like the starter Pokemon, the first 3 Pokemon you meet in the grass basically when you leave your hometown. A Pokemon that you have to hatch. You're obviously the first legendary you're able to catch. And then the Pokemon you're able to trade. All those Pokemon are very significant to the region itself. And I can't wait to see everything they have to offer, man. I don't know, because everybody talks a lot of crap about Pokemon and how they don't make the games hard enough, but I have a strong feeling that Pokemon is more into making the game flashy and fast-paced. I don't think they even care about making the game harder. But let's see, what if they make Generation 10 one of the most difficult games to have ever been released? Or what if they give us settings? Or what if they give us difficult dungeons? Like, for example, underground dungeons have levels of difficulty that are higher than the normal gameplay. Now, so people who are complaining about challenges can just go down to level 100 dungeons and get their ass handed to them all day long. So, let's get back to the video. So like I said, there was a normal flying duck Pokemon, which is going to be the regional bird. Then there was a psychic ghost Pokemon, Dice. It looks like Dice. A new ground Pokemon. There's also a fire ghost type that could be the new variant or related to Houndoom. So there's going to be apparently, you know, variants and spin-offs of other Pokemon. So there's going to be regional forms of Pokemon in this game. So I can't wait to see which Pokemon get their own forms and you know, their designs. It's gonna be very interesting. So long story short, we're gonna go ahead and move on to some other details. Let's see here. There are also creative talks like food-inspired cheesecake Pokemon, a Euro snake, and Pokemon whose evolution depends on which island you're on, echoing branching evolutions and encourage exploration. So I'll be honest with you, that sounds like the coolest thing I've ever heard. So imagine you take your Pokemon to an island, and because you're on that island, it evolves into the Pokemon that it would evolve because it's born on that island, growing up on that island. So that's pretty cool. So imagine your starter Pokemon only evolves to a certain starter if you're on a certain place in the game. I don't know why, but I think that's pretty cool. And I think evolutions should be, you should be able to pay for evolutions. Like imagine you get to a certain point in the game and you're just sick of training and using XP share. I think I should just pay for my Pokemon to be evolved, okay? And depending on which Pokemon it is and what level, that changes the price. Long story short, let's get back to the video. Now, about the Pokedex itself, the leak reportedly lists about 71, oh, we already talked about that. The leaker claims not to share images or art, saying, "You don't have to believe me, it is what it is," and drops only names and basic concepts, leaking the real details and the legitimacy in question. Now, as all real Pokemon fans, they obviously want to support Nintendo and denounce piracy, but then, the Pokemon community is obviously split because those that love the game seem to be making and playing fan games, and then the other half that love him, so there's the people who trade cards, there's the kids that watch the show, and then there are like random 30-year-olds, 25-year-olds, and 20-year-olds that are playing fan games. So the Pokemon community is very strange. It's a very large, divided, strange place. So those that love fan-made games are like hated by those who are love Nintendo and are Nintendo fans, but then people who play fan games think they're Nintendo fans. But it's like, but then some Nintendo fans would say, "Hey, well, you're playing fan games and you're bringing the company down and you're annoying them." And it's just like, well, damn, I had no idea that having a great time was bad news, right? So, long story short, the excitement is real, especially when Pokemon Presents event and Nintendo Direct both rumored to be happening soon, where some of these rumors might be addressed. It's important to note that the host stresses none of this is confirmed and to enjoy the speculation for what it is: fun, creative hype ahead of the official announcement. So, whether Generations 10 Pokedex truly got leaked or not, this conversation highlights what fans want the most: fresh ideas, mythological roots, diverse environments, and new adventure that keeps Pokemon evolving. So stay tuned, and if you have any rumors that turn out to be true, go ahead and please like and subscribe. And if you want to get to more details about what's going on with all of these new types, and I have a strong feeling that this might be one of the most interesting Pokemon games of all time. Sword and Shield, in my opinion, was pretty interesting. I think Pokemon Go was a great idea. I think Sword and Shield was cool. I'm not entirely sure what else is going on, but I heard that there's a lot of DLC releases for Pokemon Sword and Shield, which I don't know why. I think that sounds cool, but the word DLC doesn't sound free to me, so you obviously got to pay for that. But maybe free DLCs to a Pokemon game sounds very cool, but I don't know. Pokemon has gotten very polished, very interesting. It's no longer that game that you just play on a shitty little Game Boy that's about to run out of batteries. It's no longer like that. Now it's completely different. Now these games look and feel incredibly different, and I genuinely don't feel like these kids may be getting like the connection that we had with Pokemon through all of these very shiny little games. But who knows? I actually haven't played I forgot, I'm sorry, I think it's Pokemon Arceus. I think Pokemon Arceus is like the last Pokemon game in which I've never played Sword and Shield on a Switch. I've only played like the Game Boy version, fan made of course. But anyways, long story short, enough of me ranting. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and see, if I can go ahead and invest in a Switch because I want to try Pokemon Arceus and I want to try these games and I want to see what the hubbub is. But I actually stopped playing the original Pokemon Nintendo games around Pokemon X and Y, I think. Like I played Diamond and Pearl obviously multiple times on my Nintendo DS, but after Diamond and Pearl, that's when everything kind of slowed down with me in the original Pokemon games. Because video games such as Pokemon Dark Rising and Dark Rising 2 and all those things were kind of in development or being released and demos and stuff. So Pokemon fan games became more popular after Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, making it impossible to even care what Nintendo has going on. But long story short, see you guys in the next time, and we are out of here.